Did Meghan Markle copy one of her close friends when launching her lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, now known as Ever? This is the fascinating suggestion, as the owner of the LA lifestyle brand that insiders say inspired Meghan's new line finally breaks his silence in an interview that's bound to get Montecito talking. Now, this is the Australian behind Flamingo Estate. If you haven't heard about Flamingo Estate, don't worry. It's because this is one of the most overpriced brands in the world, where crazy celebrities are prepared to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to eat a particular type of honey, which probably doesn't taste any different to the one you get in your shop. However, it has become a hugely successful business. And here's where Meghan Markle comes in. So last year, Meghan was in talks with Christensen and his boyfriend, Aaron Harvey, about buying in to Flamingo Estate, about taking a cut so she would never have had to do her own thing with American Riviera Orchard. However, Christensen walked away from the idea. It was reported by the entertainment news website Puck that there were multiple in-person meetings with the Flamingo Estate team in 2022. Meghan had expressed a desire to come on as an active partner in the business. Negotiations went as far as her being given access to all the relevant financial information, which, as one insider told the Daily Mail, gave Meghan an intimate knowledge of the business. Now, no deal ended up being done by Flamingo Estate and Meghan. The estate realised they didn't want to take the business in that direction, Puck reported. Now, that was a very wise decision. Christensen himself has never talked about what went on with Meghan. However, he's publishing a new book, and so he has now spoken about her to the Daily Mail. And this is one of these situations, and I always like to do this, where I can translate what Christensen is actually saying compared to what he really means. So he tells the Daily Mail, I am a big fan of hers. I'm excited to see where her plans go. I'm very excited. And when asked if Meghan is providing competition to his brand, he added, I think there's enough sunshine for all the flowers. And so I'm excited for everyone that works with nature and the garden. So yeah, I'm very excited. It should be great.
All right, folks. This is bad. Meghan Markle's new lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, now renamed as Ever, might not be as original as she wants you to think. Because according to insiders, she secretly tried to partner with Flamingo Estate before launching her own brand. In 2022, Meghan had multiple meetings with Flamingo Estate's founder, Richard Christensen. She was given exclusive access to financials, branding strategies, and product concepts. So what happens next? The deal falls through, and suddenly Meghan launches a brand that looks eerily similar. I mean, what are the odds? She spends months studying their brand, then suddenly launches her own suspiciously similar version. This is straight-up copy-paste business strategy. Now here's where things get really interesting, because the founder of Flamingo Estate, Richard Christensen, has finally spoken out. And while he's trying to be polite, his answers say everything. Translation: yes, Meghan copied him. That's the nicest way possible to say, I see what she did and I'm not impressed. When asked if Meghan's business was a threat to his brand, he says, there's enough sunshine for all the flowers.
But then the Mail went a little bit harder. And they asked about Meghan sending the jam, the strawberry jam, to her celebrity friends. Do you remember that? Because that is exactly the type of thing that Christian would have done. And when asked if he regarded Meghan as copying him, Christensen replied, no, I don't. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't draw inspiration from Martha Stewart and all the people who've done this before. So I welcome everyone to copy us. Translation: yes, she has copied me. And then when asked if he wanted to collaborate with Meghan, he said, maybe, I don't know. We've never talked about it as a collaboration. We've never talked about it, but I would love to do something together. Wow, this is so fascinating. Let me bring in Royal YouTube sensation P. Dina on this. P. Dina, I find this so fascinating because, look, Meghan doesn't have an original idea in her body. We know that. With Love, Meghan has been completely stolen from Pamela Anderson's Cooking with Love series. But this is actually more fundamental because it looks like the entire concept of the type of brand she was trying to create with American Riviera Orchard, or shall I say the brand formerly known as American Riviera Orchard, now known as Ever, comes from the Flamingo Estate. And actually, Pete, she had all of this insight into Flamingo Estate because at one point she was in these talks to purchase it.
I'm wondering why it didn't go forward. Like, what happened to make it not actually come to fruition? Did something happen? Was there some kind of like crossing the line, I think, with Megan trying to have more than what they were willing to give? Like, something actually happened, right? We don't know what, but I find that part suspect. And I think he is trying to tiptoe around some things. And I think he knows that he's going to continue doing what he's doing and being very successful at it. And Megan is not going to be able to offer, I don't think, any competition to what he's already been doing. So there's something that I'm not quite sure that has happened. And the reason I think is because why didn't this come to fruition? I mean, I'm just curious. Do we don't know, right?
No, and
Something.
we know her track record, don't we? And we know that her
Yeah.
track record is very difficult to work with. And Richard Christensen, as a businessman, would have quite sensibly asked around, looked at the experiences of others working with Meghan, looked at the experiences of Netflix working with Meghan, looked at the experiences of Spotify calling her an effing grifter, and thought, why do I need this? My brand is so successful. And in fact, I imagine he would have had a whole load of experts, P. Dina, telling him, don't even think about this. You're the man already. You don't want your brand dragged down. Because what was very clear to me is that he walked away from the deal. It was him who
Yeah.
decided not to. And look, we know Meghan is a big plagiarizer. So she clearly has taken a whole load of his ideas. And it's very easy, I guess, given he's so successful, to say, oh, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But deep down, he's going to think, no, this is a really terrible thing she's done.
Let me decode that for you. He's saying Meghan is not original, but he doesn't see her as a real competitor. That's savage. Honestly, this guy is a pro at throwing shade while sounding polite. But if you read between the lines, he knows exactly what Meghan did. And let's talk about the most ridiculous part of this story, Meghan's strawberry jam stunt. If this whole luxury brand thing wasn't suspicious enough, she even copied Flamingo Estate's marketing tricks. So Meghan sent expensive hand-delivered jars of jam to her A-list friends. Exactly like Flamingo Estate does. Coincidence? I don't think so. This isn't just inspiration. This is straight-up imitation.
Yeah, I think so. And you just never know what she could have seen that, he's probably just sitting back waiting for her to try to implement something that he's already shown her. But yeah, the word got around and he thought, yeah, let me just kind of back off of this situation because it's not going to be good for me. I'm sure he had to work very hard to get to where he's at now. He's going to let a grifter come in now and just kind of take over something that you had to work very hard for. So yeah, I think Megan's reputation precedes her. And yeah, she'll continue to try to steal others' ideas. I think what she's missing though is when people come up with these great ideas and they do things, it works for them because it's an internal thing. It flows with their personality. It's something that you can't explain. It's an it factor. Megan can't come in and imitate someone's it factor, right? That has to come from her. So she's once again deceiving herself. She's in her delusion and her big-headedness to think that she could just come in and steal others' ideas when the whole concept is these are things that originate with the person that you can't explain. You can't imitate that. You can't copy it and then find success. She can't seem to understand or grasp the problem that she's really having. And I really do believe that she really had something when she had the TIG. When she started from that, even though I think she has some inspiration from others, Goop, I think she has something unique that she could have built on. But why is she insisting on renaming it, trying to copy Pamela Anderson? Why is she not trying to just go back to something in its simplistic form and trying to just humble herself and grow that rather than trying to get on other people's success and trying to just dive into immediate, you know, success with someone else's idea and what they've started. It's a recipe for disaster, right? And I
It
think
is.
Megan, I think she is just we're just waiting to watch her fail
And what
next
about the
week.
Pamela Anderson thing, PD? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it is so similar. Even the use of the word love.
Megan, like you have lost your way. Do you not understand what you are going through right now? People are mocking you. We see that this is very similar to Pamela. And you think we're just gonna be like, oh, okay, Megan, good for you, girl. No, it's laughable. And people, this is the thing. Pamela has something that feels very authentic because you can even tell by how she presents herself on camera. And she's also started to not wear makeup. Like she's completely taken off the veneer of who she used to be. And she's stripped down to something authentic. Megan is masking what she is trying to portray. And Pamela, that's what I was saying earlier. Pamela has coming into this with an it factor, something unique to her. And this is why it works for her. And now Megan's trying to come in and imitate something that Pamela is found very naturally. And you can't do that. And I think that the two are, I mean, you just look at it, and I think this is an episode for South Park. Somebody to just come in and mock
Yes,
it
please
because
God.
it's so
Please God.
bad.
I mean, what I think I would say is that Pamela Anderson has proven actually that authenticity is what matters now in Hollywood. We're moving away from the old
Mhm.
style celebrity culture. So the only celebrities that will survive are the ones that are totally open with the public about who they really are, what they really are, and why they are like what they are. And Pamela Anderson doesn't walk away from her really fascinating history, but she completely owns who she is now. And as a result, I think she will do well, and this cooking series will do well, and Megan's will not. But another thing I just wanted to look into, P. Dina, was how Meghan Markle, because you would previously have thought that she would have the gay pound behind her, right? Flamingo Estate has the gay money. But what's been really interesting for me is to see the pink pound, that's what we call it over here in the UK, but to see the gay guys effectively say, hell no, Meghan.
The difference. Flamingo Estate is a well-established brand with real celebrity demand. Meghan's version? It's just another PR stunt. And now for the million-dollar question. Will Meghan's brand even survive? Because let's be honest, people can smell a fake from a mile away. The reason Flamingo Estate is successful? It's authentic. Celebrities buy into it because it's been around for years, and it actually has a unique identity. But Meghan? She's just trying to replicate someone else's vision. One business analyst even said Meghan's brand feels lost, like she's throwing out ideas without a real business plan. And guess what? That's exactly how her Netflix deal fell apart too. At the end of the day, if people see this as a knockoff brand, it's game over. Hollywood is already losing interest in the Sussexes, and if Meghan doesn't make this work, this might be her biggest flop yet.
And that's bad, because that was a really important base if she was ever going to be successful. And I thought it was pointed out brilliantly by the Pop Report, which is a podcast hosted by Zach Peter and Andy Lawani. Have a little watch of this. So, P. Dina, even the lefty woke gays can't find anything to like about this. Now that is bad.
Man, if you have lost it there, you have really lost it. I mean, they are attuned to how things really are, and I think that speaks volumes to Megan and what she's trying to do. I mean, if the left can't get that, I mean, no, who is really? No, nobody. I think it's the people who are in their delusion as well, because who is the person that is going to really gravitate to what Megan is doing? There is nobody except for the people that allegedly that she pays. And that's sad. That I mean that this is what the business people are looking at. They know that she doesn't have a clientele that is going to gravitate to what she is selling. You cannot make this up. This is going down, and I just think everyone sees it. Everybody. What do you do now? What? You just keep trying. You just kind of think, okay, let me just ignore and pretend. And that's what she's going to do. I'm just keep pretending that this is going to be a success,
I
and that's
know.
never going to get you
But
anywhere.
it's so interesting to me seeing like her natural allies just slip away because they
Yeah.
realize this is ludicrous. She's still getting a tiny bit of support, Pedina, but I wanted to put this one to you specifically because it's from Sir Trevor McDonald. Now, Americans probably don't know who this guy is, but he was the biggest newsreader in the UK for decades, right? So, like our equivalent of Tom Brokaw or Peter Jennings. But what was interesting about him is he was a black guy, and that was never a big part of who he was. He was just the best newsreader of his day. But he's written a column defending Meghan, and genuinely, he is one of the only high profile people to come out and defend Meghan publicly in a very long time. So, this is what he said. He said, Meghan, too, could have brought a new dimension to the monarchy. By having a different background, perhaps she could have changed how the royal family is perceived by those who have never before felt a strong connection. Yet it seems to me that precisely because of those differences, she never stood a chance of being accepted. To be blunt, she is a foreigner, an American, a divorcee, a former actress, and black. She was never given a chance to prove herself. So, I mean, this was an interesting one to me because he raised American, he raised divorcee, he raised former actress, but then he did go there in terms of this line of suggesting there is still a racism element. And that was really interesting to me, remembering that Sir Trevor McDonald, as I say, had this glittering career as the number one newsreader in the UK, where no one gave a damn, P. Dina, that he was a black man. He interviewed everyone. He did all of the main broadcasts. No one cared. So that was weird to me and actually a shame to me that he's gone down this path.
So here's where we stand. Meghan got access to an exclusive business model, studied it, and when the partnership fell through, she copied it. No. The founder of Flamingo Estate is basically calling her out, without actually saying it. And let's not forget, Meghan's track record with business is not great. Spotify, flopped. Netflix, struggling. Now she's trying to run a luxury lifestyle brand? It's not looking good. And the best part? Social media is already dragging her for this. People are seeing through the act.
I think he just really doesn't have a grasp on who Megan really is. I think if you really truly follow it and you know who she is and what she's about, you would never say race is a part of it. Personally, I think he is just saying the talking points that he perceives to be, but not really knowing the real story, because we have to remember in the beginning, she was welcomed. She was loved by so many people in the country. And, Megan is the kind of person who's going to keep trying. Why didn't she keep doing that when she was within the royal family still? Why didn't she show that perseverance, that kind of attitude when she was working for the royal family? And it's because she never wanted to. She always wanted to leave, and then she blamed it on race. And this is what I think he's not understanding or seeing. And you also have to look at the fact that he had a successful career. He looks like a black person. Meghan doesn't. So how legitimately can you say that this woman has experienced racism when she doesn't even look black? Come on. You can't say these things and think what you're saying is meaningful if you don't have the backstory and you don't really look at what's there. She doesn't look black. So I don't buy what he's saying at all because it's just a talking point that he's read or heard her say or other people. But you when you look critically at it, like really look critically at what has happened with Meghan and her downfall, it has nothing to do with race. And I don't think he would have said that under had he really known about this woman and her character and her behavior. Because at the end of the day, that is what we're looking at. We're looking at what she has actually done, and we're basing our judgment on this woman on what she has done, what she has shown us, and her own actions. This is not people watching, looking in a window at what she's doing and trying to come up with what's happened. No, we've seen intimately of the things that she has done up close. I mean, that's the reality. So, yeah, he'll say these things, but I don't think he really knows what has happened.
And if she thought this was going to be her goop moment, he might want to think again. Alright folks. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let's get the conversation going. Do you think Meghan copied Flamingo Estate? Or is this just another coincidence? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.